Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Huzoor says that first of all I would like to say that for the place that Jamaat has acquired for Jummah today, and also it is said that next Friday will also take place here because of the airport located very close to us, and also because of the incoming flights. There might be some noise and sometime it may increase very much. I will try. Huzoor says that despite the noise my voice could reach and you may be able to understand the words. If the noise level is at the same level as it is at the moment, that is bearable. And they say that if the wind is blowing in this direction, then it might be in a different direction, that it might be less. But because of the shortage of space in Baitus Sabuh, it was not possible to hold Jummah in Baitus Sabuh, and on very moderate price the Jamaat says that they could not get any suitable place for Jummah. So I think that if they had tried at the right time, that they might have been able to get it. But anyway, this is the habit of our people, that they start the job just at the nick of the time, and they are under this feeling that the job will be done. By the grace of Allah, some of the jobs are done on emergency basis, and as they are done in Jamaat, it may not be taking place elsewhere, but it does not mean that the planning should not be made in good time. This understanding and lack of attention and not realizing the importance, that is the cause, that because of this, that the newly acquired building, the Baitul Afiyat, which is a mosque, which is a place attached to Baitus Sabuh, there the holding of Jummah or holding any meeting, the permission has not been obtained. Last year, when I came here on the occasion of Jalsa, so then I led the Jummah prayer in Baitus Sabuh, and because of the shortage of space, and when the ladies and other people of the neighboring Jamaats, they were asked not to come. At that time, I asked the administration of the Jamaat that the permission to use the Baitul Afiyat should be obtained very quickly, so that we may not be confronting these difficulties later on. In my thinking, or at least according to their reports, they have been trying very seriously since that time, but the council, by raising some petty objections, they are not accepting. So these things our Jamaat should have kept in mind well before, that the council is not under their instruction, that you just go there and get the permission. When the building was acquired, from that moment onward, very seriously and immediately, the permission of its use and whatever changes were required, the work should have started on that. And if that work had started, then this difficulty would not have been faced today. Although because of the Easter holidays, in their view this was a very big place, and because of the coming of the people, the place is considered to be very small. But that difficulty might be over there, but the arrangement could have been done. In the 2-3 years have passed by after the purchase of the acquiring of this building, but still there are some hurdles in the proper use of this building. When the building was acquired, the conditions of the world were better with reference to Muslims. The condition was still better, to some extent. And if the work had started at that time, the permission could have been obtained. But nowadays, regarding Muslims, their reservations, they have increased. The reason of that is that there are difficulties coming our way. Perhaps the Amir Sahib and the administration may say that this is not the reason. This was bound to take place like that. But anyway, this is the slackness on their part. And this habit of postponing various jobs, that is their habit. And because of that, we are finding some difficulties today. Allah Almighty give wisdom to administration, and they should not be fall into the trap of thinking in a different way. And you have elected the people, so it is your responsibility that you should pray that Allah Almighty may make the jobs easy and help them. Anyway, within 2-3 couple of minutes, we have heard the noise of several planes going out. So then we will have to tolerate this anyway. The other thing possible was that people could be asked to come in limited number for Jummah, and also some restriction could be put on ladies. In Pakistan or in those countries where the opposition of the Jamaat is there, and because of the condition, the ladies have been asked not to come for Jummah. So similarly, Jummah is not held in one place, rather in different places. In Aljazair, there is complete ban on the holding of the Jummah, that in no center nor in any house you can assemble. So in such cases, this very cruel law is there, and because of the fear of the enemy, this is being done. And here, where the religious freedom is there, to put such restrictions, this is because of our slackness and not realizing the importance of these matters, and that's what's happening. Anyway, please pray that for the next Friday, not the coming Jummah, but whenever the arrangement is for me to come here again, so then the permission should be obtained to use Baitul Afiyat, or at least they can get such a place where all the people can be accommodated there easily. This difficulty in Baitul Afiyat, it can be removed for some time. The Jamaat is increasing, and inshallah it will go on increasing. So therefore, whatever place we acquire, that becomes small. But after acquiring a place, and then because of our own slackness, not using it for many, many years, and then to say that this place has also become very small, then this is not a right answer, not it's the dictate of wisdom. But anyway, after this mentioning this thing, now I had taken up another subject for the Jummah, but there is a mention of certain people who have passed away. I have to lead their janazah prayer. Therefore, some of the things have come to the knowledge. So I thought that I will just mention about those people. There is one martyr and one missionary of the Jamaat, and one is the granddaughter of Hadhrat Massih. There are some qualities of these people which for every section of the community is really a model. And these are the things which for many people from among us, this is a model, example to be followed. And there is a good lesson in those things. So I thought it appropriate that instead of going for the brief mention of the these departed souls I should mention in detail, and their good aspect of their sirat, which has been highlighted or which I knew personally. They are such that man kaza nabahu, that these are the people who have fulfilled their covenant, that these are people according to this verse. And those, their promises, their intentions, they are the people who are fulfilling those. Those who gave preference to the religion over the world, and they spent the whole life like that. And in the same way, they presented themselves to God Almighty. The very first one is a Shaheed brother, Professor Dr. Ashwak Sahib, who on the last Friday, he was martyred last Friday. Professor Dr. retired Ashwak Sahib is Sheikh Sultan Ahmad Sahib's, he was son of Sheikh Sultan Ahmad Sahib of Lahore. He was 68, and last Friday, for the offering of the Jummah prayer, he was going in his car. He was going to Baitul Tawheed. On the way, a motorcyclist, he fired at him, and he embraced the martyrdom. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi rajiun. According to the details, it is said that on that day of the martyrdom, a 12-year-old grandson, Shahzeb, and another friend of him, Zahir Ahmad Sahib, along with these two, he was going in his car for the Jummah to the mosque, and the Shaheed Marhum was driving the car, and the grandson was on the front seat, and the other people were on the back seat. And when they arrived at Multan Road, where the traffic had stopped because of road works, and a person with helmet who was on the motorcycle, and he put the rifle on his temple and shot him there, and he ran away. And the bullet went across the brain, and instantly on the spot he embraced martyrdom on the site. And the other two were safe, they were not injured. And in his family, the Ahmadiyya came into his family from his grandfather, Sheikh Abdul Qadir Sahib, and Hadhrat Masih Maud Islam. When he came to Ludhiana, he embraced Ahmadiyya at that time. His family relates to East Punjab in India, and Mukarram Miya Karim Muhammad Baksh Sahib, and the grandfather of the martyred accepted Ahmadiyya, and he accepted Ahmadiyya with all the members of this family. Before the establishment of Pakistan, the grandfather had passed away by that time, and after the party establishment of Pakistan, his grandfather, Aisha by name, she also migrated from India to Pakistan, came to Lahore, and after staying there, then they settled in Krishnagar, and in 49 he was born, this martyred brother. And after a few years, this family, they moved to Rabwa, and this martyr, earlier education he got there. After matric, he went to Government College Lahore, and his mother also moved there, and MSc veterinary after performing that, and he rose to the rank of the professor. The father, Sheikh Sultan Ahmad Sahib, he was sub-inspector in Punjab Police, and he continued with this job. Both of them, they were Musi, and they had great love with the Khilafat and offering tahajjud, looking after the people, helping the mankind, and obedient to officials of the Jamaat. He was always in the forefront of Jamaat service, and he was a man of great morals. He was greatly wedded to Tabligh, and he was very popular among his students and his colleagues. And he used to invite his fellow professors at home, and he used to introduce the Jamaat in a very effective way. Because of that, sometime he was getting some threats, but he never cared for that. And he used to say that this is something very petty. And he had this dedication of serving the community from the childhood. And on all levels, he had the opportunity of serving in various capacities. Halka Sabzwar, he was staying there. He was the president of the local community and an assistant Zaim Ala Ansarullah. And this year, he was appointed as Secretary Dawat-e-Allah, Tabligh. And in a very nice way, he started his mission of Tabligh, and he had made the plan for that. His wife, because of this, she was sick for a long period, and he served his wife as well. And last year in December, the wife passed away. He did not have any children, one adopted son, and he has got 2 sons. Those who live with him used to live with him in Lahore, and they were the people who were accompanying him while going to Jummah. And one brother, Ilyas, lives in Birmingham. He says that he was very kind brother. He used to take care of the brothers just like father, and he played important role in our tarbiyat. The translation of the prayer and the Holy Quran, we all learned from him. So he was looking after his younger brothers. And he also helped us in education. And he used to meet our teachers in school, and he was always concerned about us. And he used to take us with him, and also prepared us for taking part in competitions, and took us for the prayers to the mosque. If the elder brother, he looks after the younger brothers and children, and the parents also do like that, so then it will be very good for the Jamaat. And he used to take us quite early for the prayer. And in Friday, during the period of Khalifatul Massih, he saw a dream. The Shahid martyred, and which he remembered 2 days after that. He saw in the dream that there is a mosque in our mahalla, there is some work is going on. Hadhrat, there was an announcement that Hadhrat Khalifatul Massih has passed away, and there is a knife in the letter box. And then he interpreted that by looking at this knife, the meaning is that the Jamaat will have to give some sacrifices. And this could be the meaning of the demise of Hadhrat Khalifatul Massih. And then there would be some announcement like that. So anyway, so this announcement was made repeatedly. So this interpretation was fulfilled. And the knife which he saw, that was a reference to his own martyrdom. And this seems to be the right interpretation. This was a clear reference to that. He says that our brother, he took us, and he brought a good name for the whole family by offering the sacrifice, and he left the world before us. Allah Almighty may exalt his status. He has 6 brothers and 1 sister. All of them, they are out of Pakistan. Then the second person who has passed away, which I am going to mention, is H. Nasrudin Sahib, missionary in charge in India. On 7th of April, he got drowned in the river. At the age of 42, he passed away. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi rajiun. On the day of the accident, Amir Sahib Sikandrabad, and along with the members of the Jamaat, Wangalpuri Jamaat, he was there. They went to the river, and he knew this swimming very well. There, along with some people, he got dislocated, and then they found his dead body. Later on, that was brought to the bank of the river. He was the first, his brother was the first person in Kerala, and the Jamaat was established. And while the mother, Sheila Kurubi, was among the first Ahmadis. He got his education in Qadian, and in province Andhra. He performed the service as a good, successful missionary. And Chantakonta in the big Jamaat, he also had the opportunity to serve. He trained the Jamaats, and he was looking after the Jamaats under his control. At the time, he was the missionary in charge of that region. His wife says that we had to live in some places where only the Jamaat center was there. And with wife and children, he used to lead the prayer and give the dars. And this continued until one day before his death. This for the missionaries and the Murabiyan. This is a lesson for the missionaries, that if the Jamaats are far away, nobody comes there. In that case as well, the prayers must be offered in congregation, even if with their family members. And then she says that this place Kamardi, when he was appointed there, and there was opposition because he distributed the leaflets, he was arrested, and the opponents, they beat him very hard, and he was anyway spared. And the wife said that there are very dangerous conditions here, opposition is very strong, so please request for your to be transferred to Kerala, because the opposition is very hard. He said that we will get the transfer and we will go there, and if I write to the Markaz, because mentioning the opposition, that where would get the Ahmadis transfer there, they have to live here. So he said to be afraid of the opposition and to go somewhere, it is not nice. So we have to fulfill our covenant of dedication, and we have come here with this promise, and whatever the conditions may be, we have to live here. He used to say that if I get the martyrdom, then what is the greater honor than that? So we have to live here. So in this way, he was a very simple living person, and the wife says that he never purchased a new furniture, and always he used to say that we are devotees of life, and the Jamaat, wherever it says, we have to go there. So this furniture and the other household items, so these things should not become a hurdle in our immediate transfer. Whatever facility Jamaat has given, we have to live with that. This is also a good example for the devotees of life. Last year, Amlapuram, he was transferred to that place. There, for the teaching of the Holy Quran, he was so regular that 1 kilometer on foot or on bicycle, he used to go there and would teach the people and come back. This is also a good example for the missionaries. And then the wife said that the hospitality was an outstanding aspect of his life. She said that when the school children were on holiday, when I was not at home, and the guests would come at that time, so he never showed any sort of worry, and he used to prepare the food and feed the guest. And his desire was there that he should get martyred. And repeatedly he said that Hadhrat Muslim Maud Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu and his father, he used to see them in dream, and the father would be pointing out to me to come. Anyway, he got the martyrdom in this way, that he was there for some Jamaat work, religious duty, and during this trip, this is an accidental death which took place, that is also a sort of martyrdom. He was full of prayer, offering tahajjud regularly, very social and a very bold preacher. And many a time the opponents beat him very hard. I have mentioned, when I relate those incidents, I mentioned his incident of beating in one of my Jalsa speeches, and very badly they beat him. The parents are very old age, and the wife is there, and 2 sons, 2 elder brothers, H. Suleiman Sahib, Amir Zila, and Shamsuddin Sahib. He is Malayalam section of Nasrudin department in Qadian. And those who worked with him, Navidul Fatah Shahid Sahib says that Maulana H. Nasrudin Sahib was from Kerala, and for the last 18 years, and in these provinces he was working there. He says that I used to often meet him because we were in the same area. He was very modest, and to do everything for the progress of Jamaat, he was dedicated to that. He was a great loving person. He was a scholar with proper acting upon the teaching, and everywhere he used to look after the tarbiyat and training, and for the office duties he has allocated the time. The respect of the people was outstanding feature. He kind treatment with the youngsters, outstanding feature. Every day he used to go out. He was not worried of the opposition, that what the opponents will be doing it. And the circle among the non-Ahmadis, he used to meet them very with a smile on his face, and very popular he was. He used to meet all the people. He said, I have never seen him worried, nor I have seen him in anger. With the colleague Muballighin, he was very kind to them and look after them. And he had so much love with the people that everyone who met him, he would fall in love with him. Hadhrat, he used to read the books of the Promised Messiah regularly. He was reading the books, and he had spared a time for that. And this is also a great example for every missionary and muballigh. And there is a lesson for all of them. He was never unmindful of the recitation of the Holy Quran. The daily diary he used to write every day. And this was his habit, that everything which is said from the Khilafat, we have to listen it very carefully. You listen to khutbat very carefully. But then his intention was that we have to completely abide by each and every word. We have to complete and not go into over interpretations. And this is also something very important for the missionaries. Extreme love with the Khilafat was outstanding feature. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ and the Promised Messiah ﷺ, he was greatly in love with them. And he says that these are such qualities which were quite evident in his person. One could see that. The opponents, and they took to a mosque in that area and beat him very hard. And he bore all these things. And the Rabbi Sahib, he says that when these people when he was admitted in hospital, then I met him in hospital, and I saw him that he says wounds all over his body, and he's wrapped in bandages. But on the face there was a spiritual happiness. He was very happy. And he related the whole incident himself, that the opponents asked me that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, what claim he has made. So he would tell them that he is a subordinate prophet. This is the claim he made. Then the opponents beat him more. And when he was almost half dead, at that time So then they would ask that what is the subordinate prophethood? Then he would explain that he was completely lost in the love of the Holy Prophet, and the prophethood which is obtained as a result of that, that is subordinate prophet. So anyway, he was with gratefulness he used to relate these incidents, and he said that I have experienced this beating many times. And this Murabbi, who is the writer, he says that when he was about to be transferred, so then he said that I'm being transferred from here, but and you work very hard there and diligently you do. And then he used to explain about the opposition and how you have to explain. He was telling other people, and he also encouraged those people who were coming to his place. And then you have to convey the message, and with great courage you have to spread the message. A Maulim Wazir Sahib, he says that I always found him regular in tahajjud and regular in prayers and very diligently and regularly reciting the Quran and very good-mannered, attachment with Khilafat and taking care of the Jamaat and regular prayers, and very simple and not indulging in spending too much. And he says that he was very fond of education, study of the books, which has been mentioned. And any question was asked, he used to reply very nicely. And whenever he used to when he took part in any meeting or travel with the Khuddam, he would say, so then he used to relate inspiring incidents, and he was showing good morals, and everybody wanted to be in his company. And he says that once because of the distribution of the leaflets, the opponents, they planned to attack and to kill him. 20th of February, the meeting of Muslim Maud was there. So he went to Salat Center before time, and a group of 100 non-Ahmadi, they came in search of him because he had reached the mosque early, so they couldn't catch him on the way. So the opponents thought that Maulam Silsila Umar Ahmad Sahib and the two children were going to the Salat Center to attend the meeting. So they stopped them on the way, and they said that until H. Nasrudin is not in front of us, we are not going to leave them. And when he came to know about that, so he immediately reached there and told them that I am Nasrudin. So the Mullam and his wife and children, the opponents, they set them free, and they started beating him and took him away. And they beat him very hard with great intensity. And finally he was relieved by the police, set free by the police. And the opponents insisted that you deny the claim of the promised Messiah, the belief in the promised Messiah, but he always refused that. Allah Almighty may exalt his status and give comfort and solace to his children. And the next mention is of Mrma Sahibzadi Amtul Wahid Begum Sahiba, who was wife of Sahibzada Mirza Khurshid Ahmad Sahib. On 10th April at night at 10 o'clock, at the age of 82, she passed away. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. She was the youngest daughter of Hadhrat Mirza Sharif Ahmad Sahib and also my auntie. She was the granddaughter of the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam, and Nawab Muhammad Ali Khan Sahib. He was the niece of Nawab Muhammad Ali Khan Sahib. The burial took place in Bashti Makura in Rabwa. Twice she went through very critical illnesses, but with great courage and patience she suffered all this ailment. Dr. Nuri Sahib has written about her. For the last 2 decades, when she was not feeling well, I have observed that she was a great model of piety and good deeds, and she suffered the sickness with great patience. And sometimes the situation would become critical and dangerous, and physical and mentally she was bearing all these things, and all the treatments were there. But despite all that, with the strength given to her by God Almighty, she continued the daily routine of her life. And with great courage and with patience, he endured this sickness. Dr. Sahib writes that smiling, with smile on her face, she used to do all the duties and always happy with the decree of Allah. And he had taken care of the duties until the last moment, and also looking after her husband. There was a very exemplary relationship between the two. She was herself sick, and the husband, Sahibzada Mirza Khurshid Ahmad Sahib, he has gone for the angioplasty, and she would forget her sickness, and she used to look after him. The quality of hospitality was outstanding. Anytime anybody would come, and he would entertain them. And during the day of Jalsa, the guest would come in large number. He would always look after them very nicely. During the sickness, she came to London twice, and she met me. In 2005, first time after the Khilafat, I met her. And when she came here, with great devotion and close attachment was there with the institution of Khilafat. And despite the old age, because she always respected this relationship and the institution of Khilafat. With our mother, she was also closely attached to her. But she was the youngest daughter of Hadhrat Mian Sharif Ahmad Sahib, and my sister was almost her age. And in this way, in this respect, my mother always treated her just like her children, and he also did not consider her as sister-in-law, but showed great respect and honor, and always considered her as respectable. And such a relationship was there which was really exemplary. Her nikah, 26th December in 56, Khalifatul Massih announced, and Sayyid Mir Mahmud Ahmad Sahib's nikah was also announced with the daughter of Hadhrat Muslim Hadhrat Mateen Sahiba, and also the daughter of Chaudhry Zafrullah Khan Sahib with the Ijazul Haq Sahib with Ijazul Haq Sahib was also announced at that time. Khalifatul Masih's second, on 26th of December, before the introductory words, he said that I am going to make the announcement of certain nikah, and this was not the routine. That normally the announcements of nikah is after the jalsa, but there are some exceptional points in these nikahs. And one of them was that this is one thing is my daughter Amatul Muti, and this is arranged with Mir Mahmood Ahmad Sahib. And then the second is, and the third one, Amtul Wahid Begum, daughter of Mirza Sharif Ahmad Sahib, is there. So that is Mirza Khurshid Ahmad Sahib, son of Mirza Aziz Ahmad Sahib. And Mirza Khurshid Ahmad Sahib is also a devotee of life. And Hadhrat Muslim Maud, he mentioned that he is studying at the time, and then after that he will devote the life. And then he mentioned the words of prayer and said that Allah Almighty, in all these nikahs, Allah Almighty bless them all, and worldly wise, and maybe the strength of the community in future maybe resulted, and he got she got 6 sons, and 4 of them are devotees of life. 2 are doctors in working in Jamaat Hospital. One is PhD doctor who is in Nazarat-e-Talim, and one is lawyer who is working in Sadr Anjuman Ahmadiyya in the legal advisor, in the office of the legal advisor. The lajna, he served in the lajna. It is for 29 years, Secretary Sanatul Tijarat and Naib Sadr, Vice President. And in this trade and industry, in that the service which she performed, because she was of a good taste, and she used to get work from the old people, poor people, and to teach them the knitting and the sewing, and these ladies would get some payment for that, and also it would generate some income for the lajna in Rabwa. In this respect, in obedience in the officers, irrespective of what is the relationship and what is the difference of age, that was my wife has told me that when she was president of Lajna for 2 years, so she was the secretary for the trade and industry, and also for Naib Sadr she worked with her, and always very happily and very modestly and very obediently she used to do the work, and whatever job was entrusted to her, she performed it very happily. He carried out that. The husband, Mirza Khurshid Ahmad Sahib, says that she really did the full job as the wife of the devotee of life, never ever demanded anything, looked after the education of the children. And this is the result of the training, that by the grace of Allah, out of 6, there are 4 are devotees of life. And then she looked after the workers and their children who were working in the house, and looked after them very well, and taught them the Holy Quran, and along with her own children, the children of the workers. And there are many children, those who were finished first the Quran reading of the words, and then the translation with the translation as well. He writes that during the period of college, once she saw in the dream that Mian Abdur Rahman Sahib, her uncle of Malet Kota, he has sent the golden bangles, very beautiful, to her, and said 65 and then 82. And that lady who brought the bangles, he said 65 and 65 and 82. And then when she asked for the detail, what is the meaning of, what does it refer to? And the lady who brought, she says, Wahid Sahiba, that I understood at that time that in 65 was the passing, the death of Hadhrat Khalifatul Massih Sani, and in 82 the death of Hadhrat Khalifatul Massih Salis. And one of his son writes that on the occasion of Jalsa, there used to be more than 100 guests, and he was very happily serving all of them during the Jalsa. And when he migrated, Hadhrat Khalifatul Massih Rabe, he arranged for the tea and for the breakfast, and under her supervision she made the arrangement. And some of those things which he loved very much, she prepared that. And the treatment that he had with Hadhrat Khalifatul Massih Rabe, and she used to send me that special sweet dish which he used to prepare at that time under her supervision. With great respect and honor, she used to treat me. And she served her mother very much, and mother-in-law and father-in-law and other relatives. She looked after in recitation of the Holy Quran and regular in prayers, and also made the children regular and sent them to the mosque. And after the Fajr, she would ask the children to go for the recitation of the Holy Quran. Looking after the workers and poor people, was very particular about that. And she was very informal with me as well. And after the Khilafat, her son wrote that previously I used to get those jobs done by force, but now how the matters are going to be settled regarding the land, etc. So, but she never ever demanded anything, and whatever I said, according to that, she always complied with this. And one of my brother's wife writes that our relationship with her like this, just the relationship of the mother to the daughters. And after the demise of my mother, he looked after all the arrangements and made the dowries and everything, just like a mother does for her children. And she used to she would send off in the same way as the mother would send off the daughters. And she looked after the religious and secular education of the children. And one particular housemaid was appointed for that. And on her marriage, the message was sent to others that if you don't join the marriage, so then I will not join in the marriages of your children. So in this way, she used to express her kindness and love to others. And then another close lady in the family, she writes that once I asked that from what age did you start offering the tahajjud? So she just ignored and did not answer. But when I insisted, then she said that from the age of 12, I am offering tahajjud prayer regularly. And similarly, she looked after the dowry for the children. She used to bear the expenses and for their education. And from the lajna funds, she used to give them some help. And there are, and if there was any marriage occasion and there was nobody looking after them, so she used to arrange for the food on such occasions from her own pocket. The devotion of Khilafat, one incident of that is somebody writes that there was a bottle of honey. So when I asked for that, she said that this has been sent by the Khalifa, so I can't give it to you, and gave her some other bottle. There were 6 daughters-in-law, and she treated all of them very nicely. And all of them she treated just like her own daughters. And the youngest, the daughter of Dr. Ahmadullah, his wife is also very sick these days. So despite the thing that she herself was ill, she sent the daughter to come and look after the wife of Dr. Ahmadullah. And my younger sister says that when she asked some people to do work, and he was very mild and she was not very hard, and with great patience she would perform the duties, and the members of lajna, they loved to work under her, with her, and she was very perfect in her performance. And if somebody was not feeling well, then she used to give her the help, necessary help. And my younger sister writes, Qudus Begum Sahib writes, that up and down is always there, but it was in his habit that he was always connected with the Quran and Hadith. And whenever she saw that something is against our tradition or teaching, then she would openly speak against that. She was very loved in the childhood, but she was very modest, and she used to meet everyone with great humbleness. My sister has written to me, Amtaroof Sahiba, that in the model town Lahore, when we used to live with Hadhrat Mirza Sharif Ahmad Sahib, at that time Hadhrat Mirza Sharif Ahmad Sahib regularly, she used to teach us the Quran and the Hadith, all the children together. And after that, Amtul Wahid, who is the auntie who has passed away, she also continued teaching the other children like that. And there was a problem with somebody in talking, and for a long time she used to get the child repeat that, and ultimately he taught, and there was no problem. Later on, now the child can speak very well. My sister writes that after matric he did his FA in Rabwa, and then Tahajjud, after Tahajjud she used to start her studies. Similarly, various other people, they have mentioned good things about her, and somebody has written that before the Khilafat, the relationship with you was different, but after this relationship of has changed, and now the relationship of Khilafat is there. And whenever she used to come here, she used to come, and sometime she was sitting and she would stand up. I said, and my wife said that you are not feeling well, please keep sitting, but she would stand up all the time. He had great reliance upon God Almighty, trust in Allah, and on the occasion of the marriage of a younger son, and they had allocated a special area for him, and the husband said that should be given to the younger son, and she said, no, not like this, the one which has been built for the older one, that is for him, and Allah Almighty will make the arrangement. And by the grace of Allah, and while reading the Holy Quran, and on one verse he was given the idea that Allah Almighty is going to fulfill my need by reading this verse, I understand. And she had got some money, and there was a prize bond of 100,000 rupees. So with that, she was able to have the proper accommodation for that son. And then the son writes that at the time of Hadhrat Khalifatul Masih, so then we all had gone to the mosque for prayer, and our mother was also with us. So then my elder sister-in-law and my mother asked him that to keep quiet, and this is a very delicate time for the Kumite, so busy yourself and pray. I was only 9 years when the Khalifatul Masih Salis passed away. So on some point I just laughed, and she strongly scolded me that don't you know what are the terrible situation, difficult situation for the community. So she would always make us realize the importance of the Jamaat. Similarly, giving various incentives to the children, make them memorize various chapters and verses of the Quran. And a girl who was brought up in the family, and at the moment she is working in the office of private secretary, that for the last 4 or 5 years I am in her house, and she looked after my education and also arranged my marriage, and whenever there was some need she would call me to go home. And once she came to my house and there was an old style sofa was there. I told her that somebody has given me, and she said that take it away, and got her the new sofa, and she was looking after the education of my son, and during the period of the last sickness and for the marriage of my son, he arranged for the jewelry and looked after that. And similarly, she was taking care of all the kith and kin and the relationship of. And he said that when my father was very much worried, she looked after him at all time. And another lady, she was very kind to her, and when she was not feeling well, she looked after her very nicely. So there were so many qualities in her. So Allah Almighty continue these good morals in His children, and the attachment with the Khilafat may continue, and Allah Almighty exalt her status. So after the prayers, all these people who have passed away, I have mentioned, I am going to lead the Janaza prayer of all of them. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa